If you've been watching my videos, you know that I was prescribed this duo blend. It's ipamorelin and CJ1295, and those are peptides. So I touched on this a little bit, and I'm not an expert on peptides yet, but peptides are basically combinations of amino acids. So that's as far as I'm going to go on that, because that's about as far as my knowledge goes on it. But I spent several hours last night researching peptides, and they're very interesting, and I want to start using them alongside of SARMs and steroids for the purpose of increasing growth hormone and specifically IGF-1. And this combination here is supposed to be pretty potent for increasing growth hormone and IGF-1, but something the doctor didn't tell me when he prescribed this is that if you eat 2 hours before or after injecting this, it pretty much renders this null and void in your system. So that's something I came up with on the research last night, and that's probably why it hasn't been working for me, because usually I'll inject it about the time I'm eating dinner. So I have just a tiny bit left, so I'm going to play around with that and see what happens. Again, this is a prescription, so I've been researching online for different compounding companies that carry it. I can renew that prescription, but I want to see what else is available out there. And there's this BP157 that's really good for healing joints, ligaments, and tendons. So I'm thinking about trying that one specifically to heal my forearm. Supposedly it makes you heal incredibly fast. So coming up when I get back into the weight room and I'm taking other things to stimulate fast muscle growth, that might be a good one, you know, to keep my joints and ligaments strengthening and healing as fast as the muscles are going to be growing. A couple other ones that were interesting on there. Obviously the CJ1295 is very interesting. They also have that available with DAC, which is basically an accelerant that makes it more powerful in your system, makes it last longer. Ipamorelin is supposed to be good, so I'm gonna look into that some more. And then they have Fragment, it's called. It's basically a fragment of growth hormone, and Greg Doucette actually uses it. I didn't realize this until last night. I was researching it, and it's like 157-162 or something like that. I don't remember exact abbreviation on that one, but it basically is the part of the growth hormone code that accelerates fat loss. So it prevents your body from storing fat, and it causes your body to metabolize the fat you already have stored. And so it's a great fat burning agent, and Greg Doucette uses it right before going into a competition. And he said most people don't know about it in the pro world, and he's been using it for about the last 6 or 7 years pre-contest to burn off the last bit of fat. And so I think that's pretty interesting. Then there were a couple other peptides in there I'd like to research too. So Swiss Chems, who is one of my affiliate links below, if you click on that link in the description, you'll see Swiss Chems there. They do sell peptides. So I'm going to be getting some peptides from them, and then there are a couple other websites I've been looking at trying to decide who I want to go through. I think Peptide Sciences was the one I've pretty well settled on for making the first order from, because they have a couple of peptides on there that I'd like to try that Swiss Chems doesn't have. But look for that coming up. My growth hormone was low in my last blood test, so it's something I want to, obviously keep it at least at the normal levels, if not increase it. And people under 40 shouldn't be increasing their growth hormone too much, because there's a higher risk of it also increasing the growth rate of cancer if you have cancer cells in your body. So a lot of authorities on the topic suggest that you don't really boost your growth hormone that much when you're in your 30s. Obviously, if you're in your teens or early 20s and you've had a low growth hormone level and you're using it to finish growing as a person, then obviously it gets prescribed for that. But then, in your 30-year-old range between the age of about 25 and 40, right in there is kind of a time when you want to stay away from it, apparently. So it's something I'll play around with a little bit. Supposedly you can boost your growth hormone and IGF levels with these peptides to at least the levels you would get with a high quality growth hormone itself. And if you look at the cost of a high-end growth hormone, it looks like it's about $5,000 a month.